Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Formula One podcast, straight to the apex. The season is drawing to a close, and if you want to know what the end of the season is going to look like, stay tuned. The boys are here, they're bringing you all the Formula One news, all the Formula One goss, all that you could possibly want from a Formula One podcast. Before we start, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. Obviously the biggest one there. If you've got a Formula One fan in your life, send this podcast their way. They will love it. Right, let's get started. Here we go. This is CookieCast, straight to the apex.
Hello, and it's me, it's my turn. Welcome to Straight to the Apex podcast on your CookieCast network. I am Mark the Knowledge Wilkin. Don't know where that come from. Joining me is the sexy bastard that is James Stainforth.
Oh, so you do actually fucking remember me then?
We'll cover that in a second. Also joining us is sponsored by fast food, Mr. Tony T-Dog Rawson. Other chicken places are available. How are we doing, guys? I've missed you. I do remember who you are.
Oh, you misters, yeah.
What's your beef? What's your beef?
What's your beef?
I was alerted one night this week that you've cheated on us.
I was going to use the exact same term.
Sorry.
And you not only have you cheated on us, you've cheated on us with a Red Bull fan.
No. It's worse. No, it's worse. I cheated on you with someone that was a Mercedes fan that turned into a Red Bull fan. That's worse.
That Dad looks like Checo Perez.
Right. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why these two didn't come on the bonus episode. So,
I would have behaved.
James, some of the comments you sent me on our WhatsApp group, you admitted you would not have behaved. At certain points in the discussion, Anna and your partner, if you're listening, Dean.
Wow.
Ignore these two.
Wow, Dean. It's all right, mate. I get the same. He forgot my name. Didn't mention my name fucking once in that episode, and then he forgets your name. I don't even know you, and I knew it was Anna and Dean.
Did I did mention your name?
Did you fuck?
I
you mentioned Tony.
I see what there's a theme going on here. James is the forgotten man.
Yeah, and I'm sat there. I'm driving into work, listening to it. I'm like, you haven't mentioned my name once yet. And there was comments that they was making, and I'm sitting there thinking he could easily turn around and go, "Oh, don't say that wrong, James." He didn't once. Two of you, both of you. I'm going to make my own fucking podcast now, and I'm going to call it "Fuck the Apex." And I'm just going to do a review of Straight to the Apex.
I like that. Can I?
No, in all honesty, Anna and Dean, I'm only joking. Yeah, good fucking podcast.
I enjoyed it.
Sounds a lot like me. That threw me off a lot of the times.
Yeah.
I was driving in listening, and every now and then he'd say something, and his voice was just the same. I'm like, fuck me. If we can just get offensive or get really close to the bone, he could be my stunt double if I ever call in sick.
I like to think of him as the AI version of you that had filtered everything that you would say out. So that's how I mean, to be fair, I did mention you like by name. I think I said my co-hosts and them guys. You are one of them guys. So I do apologize.
Tony got an actual personal mention though.
Yeah, but it's Tony. I can't remember what I said. It probably wasn't something nice. Anyway. Sprint weekend. It was a busy weekend. And before I get going, James always reminds me of this. Thank you to Andy and Cookie Cast for having us. I've got it in early. Let's hit the news. Hit the news.
Can I start with this?
Yes.
I'll start. Your friends who came on the podcast have been to a few races, and with them being a Red Bull fan, changing from a Mercedes fan, which I kind of zoned out. They'd wanted to go to they'd still got a few races that they wanted to go to. And I think one of them races was the Dutch GP, potentially. It's going to be cancelled very soon. So
you're not going next year.
Good luck,
you win.
Motherfuckers.
2026 kaput.
Bye.
I'm glad you've started with that. I'm really glad you started with that. Is Max going to be a Red Bull driver after 2026?
Oh, big bombshell.
Oh, yeah. Tony, you've gone straight in there. The Dutch GP to exit the calendar after 2026. I'm shocked. Are you shocked?
Shocked, but at the same time, not, because we have soulless races that are based only on money and commercialism and interests of those that have the money. Qatar, sorry, choky voice. So it's sad. If I was a Dutch fan, I would be absolutely devastated. But this is Liberty Media. This is F1. This is the way it goes. We have a world champion that's not actually going to race in his home country, which is absolutely devastating. So
it was almost, when you read the press release of why, it's like they're losing money, and they've basically said we ain't going to lose money anymore. Should a Grand Prix weekend that's as well attended, don't get me wrong, by Max Verstappen fans, but is as well as attended as it is, should that seriously be losing money?
No, but it's not about the atmosphere. It's not about the location. It's not about the racing. It's not about heritage. It's not about anything. It's
everything
down.
you've said. It's down to Liberty Media. You're absolutely hang on.
Hence why we're doing episode 24 of Straight to the Apex, and we're in Qatar, which has got about 3 fucking seating areas, and it's in the middle of a fucking desert. Like, and I'll hold my hands up. 10 times out of 10, I would sooner watch a Dutch GP.
Yeah,
because the atmosphere, it's fucking bonkers, filled with fans. It looks like an absolute laugh.
Yeah,
but it's money. Oh, that's what it boils down to. It's money. They don't. Unfortunately, they can't afford it. It must take a lot of organisation. I'm surprised it's gone. I'm surprised it's gone. I'm sad it's gone. But
no, you're right.
We've got state-backed races as well, not just races that are funded by huge oil and energy companies. When you've got state-backed races like the Azerbaijan, how can you compete?
No,
you can't. Right. So unless it's the way of Silverstone and it's ridiculously priced.
Yeah, 100%. Any other news? I've got lots, but I want you guys to kind of, if you've got anything else.
I've just seen something pop up.
Before we go on, it's got a 1 year. Dutch GP has a 1 year extension, but will drop off the calendar at 2026.
Yeah.
Just to confirm. Sorry, James.
No, that's fine. No beef with you, buddy. Well, maybe, no, there is a bit of beef. You forgot me as well.
Yeah.
Set of bastards.
I forgot everyone. But hey,
Anna, Dean.
On my podcast, I forgot everything. I didn't actually know what I was there for. All I knew it was NFL. That was it.
Whoa, Andy, did you hear that? On my podcast, he's taken over the NFL podcast.
Hey, that point will live on forever.
Yeah, it will. Right, go on, James. What have you seen?
George Russell has come back on the comments that Max Verstappen made of, I have lost all respect for him.
Oh, what's he said? Something boring, probably.
No, it's pretty juicy. I mean, first of all, I was scrolling through it while you guys was talking, but let's face it, when you're forgotten by who you think your fucking friends are, then what difference does it make?
Exactly.
Join me on Fuck the Apex starting next week. So yeah, obviously we're going to talk about what happened between George and Max at some point.
Yep.
George has turned around and said what he was doing is pretty clear. He was going too slow. He was on the racing line, and we all had the rules to follow, and he didn't follow it. And then he goes on and says, I also find the comments pretty ironic when he came out and said to me, I'm going to purposely crash into you. I'm going to put you on your fucking head in the wall.
Wow.
Someone needs to stand up to this bully, to a bully like this.
So, no surprise here, Verstappen's denied all knowledge of that comment.
Of course he has.
Oh, no, sorry. But what it says here is Verstappen has denied the put your head in the wall remarks.
Ah.
I didn't hear. I've not heard
So
that. I would have heard that.
Effectively admitting to saying, I am going to purposely crash into you then?
Probably.
And obviously Red Bull are, fully corroborating with Max going, oh, yeah, he wouldn't do anything. Like, no, he didn't. Max is a good boy. He's a good boy.
I want to talk. I haven't really got much notes for quali, so I want to kind of really, really whiz through sprint quali, sprint race, and I want to get deep into this because it was quite spicy and it was quite interesting. So right, I love that. I love that George has responded. We'll pick that back up. Red Bull hint at Perez exit.
Yes, this is why I was.
Yeah.
This guy is. I'll believe it when I see it. Supposedly behind the doors of Red Bull, it could be a rumor. It could be allegedly. He is not going to be there next season. They're just trying to work out a compensation package, because he renewed his contract. Will they keep him on as like a reserve or an ambassador for his compensation? Basically, to save money, get rid of him, but save money, keep his sponsors. I have just seen an interview recently where they've asked him, "Are you here next year?" And again, he's said, "I've got a contract. I'm here next year." So I'll believe it when I see it. What do you guys think?
I was just about to say when you made the point of he made the comment of I've got a contract, but he won't stipulate what the contract says about his position.
No.
All he's saying is I've got a contract. I'm at Red Bull next year. Now, Dean rightly said as well. Dean's going to get a lot of mentions, and so is Anna as well because I like Dean and Anna.
We can meet.
I have a feeling that Dean and Anna would remember me if there was co-hosts on Fuck the Apex.
For all the wrong reasons.
But yeah, he's there. We all don't know why. Albon, Gasly, Ricciardo. I mean, Ricciardo got fucked over by him twice. Albon and Gasly got screwed over, and statistically, they were performing better than Perez has when you look at it on paper. But he's there because of the sponsorships he brings in.
He has to be, surely, to go.
If their legal team, I mean, let's face it, if their legal team can get out of a budget breach by putting it on staff canteen,
yep,
they can go through a contract and say, yeah, you're still here next year as the cleaner.
Yeah, they don't have to stipulate what.
Well, it's money. It's going to be money, and it's going to be like, we don't want you to drive. We know you've got a contract, but we don't want you to drive. So here's a.
They'll offer him an ambassadorship.
I think they're giving him the opportunity to say he's retiring because then he goes out on his terms, and then probably pay him quietly under the table. Like you say, other drivers haven't performed. I mean, Lawson has come in for Ricciardo. Tony's not a massive fan of Ricciardo. Lawson did okay in the first couple of races. Not done much since.
Well, it's heavily linked that he's going there, isn't he?
I know,
Lawson.
but
Yuki will stay at VCAB, and Hajar will step in to Lawson's seat.
But if you was Yuki Tsunoda, would you think, hang on a minute, I beat Ricciardo, I'm beating Lawson, they're not even giving me the opportunity. It's just something odd is going on at Red Bull. I mean, Christian Horner, every session he was on Sky again. Every single session. And he's been very coy and he's been very smimey. Christian Horny, as Dean liked to call him.
I like that. I'm just gutted we never thought of that.
But they're up to something. They are up to something. Let's quickly whiz through anything else. Have you got anything else in the news?
I have, and it's massive as well.
Right. Well, let's leave the massive one. I want to. There's little ones. Have you got anything, little Jims?
There is a rumor that Daniel Ricciardo will be back in 2026.
Really?
Wow.
Driving with GM.
For Rito? That's a shout.
Yeah.
For who?
GM.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
How true it is, I don't know.
No.
I want to post on Facebook on one of those F1 pages, but
okay.
interesting to see.
Any other little tidbits before your massive one, Tony?
I'm trying to think now. I don't think I have. Hamilton's Ferrari test denial. He's not.
Mick Schumacher's leaving Mercedes reserve driver. Yeah. Leclerc, best brothers in F1 history. To both drive the Ferrari in practice. Science has been dropped. I'm guessing, Tony, the massive one is the other one I've got, so you might as well go because I don't want to steal your thunder.
I mean, everybody just stop what you're doing right now because this will be a moment that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. So just be ready for this. I don't know if you've heard this already, but I'm going to break it now. And I just want you to pause for a second and listen to what I'm about to say. Esteban Ocon is no longer an F1 driver. And he's now been told to proverbially fuck off. And he will not be driving in Abu Dhabi as he thought. So, I mean, the carpet has been pulled very much, or the rug has been pulled underneath him, and he is gone. He's gone.
Only for one race, because then he's back next year. You did know that, didn't you?
I think I forgot.
But that one race.
He can't win the championship. He can't win it. He's missing the race. He can't win it.
He's the best Alpine driver ever to drive for Alpine. He's got multiple podiums and a race win. However, for me, my best memory of him was absolutely sending it this year at Monaco on his own teammate on an impossible corner. Coupled with when he absolutely obliterated his teammate and himself in, I can't remember where that was. Was that Australia? I'm not quite sure.
No, I can't remember.
I don't think it was, but it was, yeah. We say goodbye
for this season.
For now. For now, yeah. For now.
So last week, people will remember that we said Tony would lose a point if a Williams crashed.
Yeah,
I know the FIA didn't rectify this, but technically there was 2 incidents with Williams's, one on Colapinto and one on Albon with his mirror. I'm going so off the grain here. I might get a penalty from the FIA, but I'm giving Tony a chance to redeem one of his points back. Who is Ocon driving for next year?
He is driving for. It's out of 2 teams.
Come on, Tony. Come on.
Out of 2 teams. I think I've got it.
Go on.
Is it Haas? Thank fuck for that. Thank God. Because I had my finger button. I was about to leave the podcast, I'll be honest. Take my sorry ass to the NFL. Fuck's sake.
So I was giving him the point back then.
I don't, well.
James, it's your section. It's up to you. It's up to you. You've got the rest of the podcast to decide. I've only got one other bit of news. One is more of a talking point. It's about the FIA seeking rule changes. I don't really want to talk about him because he's just a control freak that he now wants to decide and be held accountable for internal things. It's a load of bollocks. It's a load of absolute bollocks. So I don't even want to give him airtime. So is there anything else news-wise before I literally sprint through the sprint?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So, sprint shoot. We had a sprint weekend, sprint shootout. Norris was on pole, Russell second, Piastri third, Sainz fourth, Leclerc fifth, Max sixth, Lewis seventh, Gasly eighth, Hulkenberg now, Lawson 10th. Perez got knocked out Q1 again. And then it was announced straight after pretty much that Perez and Colapinto were starting from the pit lane. Any little snippets from sprint qualifying? Because I've literally wrote nothing down. There was nothing of note. No. Excellent. Sprint race Saturday. Bit of an odd one with Perez. What the fuck was he doing in the pit lane where the green light come on and he just stayed where he was? Apparently afterwards he was like, I was waiting to give myself some room because I'm using it as a test, which Horner denied.
I got to say, I have liked Horner this weekend. He's been annoying, especially when he actually shouted down the radio, "Yabba dabba doo." Come the fuck on!
About that, yeah.
That's as bad as fucking George Russell standing on top of his car and going, "Oh, come on, man! You're banging a Spice Girl."
Oh God, here we go. Right.
You get a girl like Jerry, and you then
here we go.
You don't shout yabba dabba do. I mean, there's hope for us all if that's what he's like, and he's got Jerry Halliwell.
Yeah, if that's what gets it going, then I'll yodel.
Is that what you've got to do? Is that?
I mean, it was embarrassing, wasn't it? It was embarrassing for him. Like, he got beaten by Colapinto in the pit lane because he saw the green light and he was like, oh, I've got to go. Fucking idiot.
Well, Horner said, what can I say? When the light's green, that normally means go.
No, that was quite a good comment.
He's pissed off with him now. Yeah. He's done.
Yeah. Everyone started on medium apart from Zhou, who started on softs. That didn't work out well because he had to pit. Norris I'll get onto that last. Lewis moved up from 5th at the start of a second Max and Leclerc. Piastri and Russell on lap 4. Russell screamed, "He fucking turned into me." What was that about? It's fucking called racing, George.
I mean, this weekend.
He did. Probably because some little Dutchman threatened him. Maybe he's getting a bit defensive.
I mean, someone needs to stand up, but George Russell.
I know.
We'll get to it.
Out of everyone on that grid, is George Russell the one that you'd say should stand up to Max? No. I think the guy that should stand up to Max and has done is Mr. Ocon. So fair play to him. Perez pitted for a new front wing because Red Bull decided that they'd set the car up wrong and they were going to use Perez to basically have a practice session, which kind of makes a mockery of sprint races, if I'm brutally honest. But it worked in their favour, didn't it? Let's be honest, it worked out well for them the second part of the weekend. The only other thing I've got is the McLaren-Lewis battle. and then Norris helping Piastri out to hold Russell off, and then
the swap.
and the swap. What
I didn't get that.
No.
Didn't get. I'm sat there and I'm like, why? And then Charlie went, oh, because Oscar did it for Norris, and I went, yeah, because Norris did it for Oscar before.
Mm.
She went, no, he did it to balance. I went, but it's not balanced anymore, is it? I went, it's now Oscar rolls him again.
Yeah, I think.
Then Charlie said, is he playing the right kind of game because he knows I'm going to need him next year, so he's keeping Oscar on side.
Maybe he's yeah.
Call me old-fashioned. If you're the quickest and you're in the lead, you deserve to win. However, if the other person is leading a championship and needs the points to catch somebody who is leading the championship, then I would probably swap. But McLaren, yeah, we can talk about this till the cows come home, and we will talk about it in the Christmas special, I suppose, that McLaren is just an absolute shit show. So when they swapped, I thought, yay, let's just all swap, yay, because we're all friends, yay.
Big.
Papaya.
I mean, McLaren told him not to do it.
Yeah, and then they did it.
Like,
Even worse than that. Way.
I mean, they kept saying, didn't they? I get why Norris was like getting in front, then backing off to give Piastri DRS all race, keep Russell behind him. Get that, because let's be honest, McLaren need 1 and 2 for constructors. I've got no problem with the tactics of Norris slowing down. But like you said, what benefit is it to let your teammate pass? I think absolutely nailed it. Charlie, to you. I think Norris is thinking next year, if I need him, I've got this in the bank. It's got to be. Because the team are telling you, right, don't do it. And Russell's quite close. Russell was catching, and they did it. Norris did it. Don't make any sense.
No.
Piastri's got back-to-back sprint wins now. And who gives a fuck about that?
Yeah. It means absolutely diddly squat. They just want 1 and 2. It don't matter what order they finish. They just want 1 and 2 for all the points in the constructors. You don't get extra points if Piastri overtakes on the line and finishes ahead of Norris. It was very odd.
Unless there's a sprint championship, then
yeah,
it might have meant something.
Yeah, odd. So
and everybody gets a point. Everybody gets points.
I
don't know.
So Piastri won, Norris second, Russell third, Sainz fourth, Leclerc fifth, Lewis sixth, Hülkenberg seventh, Max was down in eighth, Gasly ninth, Magnussen 10th. Anything else from the sprint race I've missed out? No. So I think we've got about 8 minutes left. I think we can absolutely knock out quali here and then talk about Max and George, because unless you guys have got anything for quali, the only thing for quali I've got is Perez finally made it to Q3.
Yeah,
I don't have anything. I'll be honest. Again, it was just a fucking simple quali.
Perez made it to Q3 and the whole Max and Russell.
Yes.
Dangerous with Max.
So, Red Bull used a sprint race as a practice session. They then changed a lot of settings in their car, and they, give them credit, nailed it in quali. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Max was first, Russell second, Norris third, Piastri fourth, Leclerc fifth, Lewis sixth again, Sainz seventh, Alonso eighth, Perez ninth, Magnussen 10th. However, the grid was Russell was on pole and Max Verstappen got a 1 grid place penalty. Something never done in Formula One before, because the lowest penalty is 3 places.
Yeah.
But Max only got 1 place. So, for everyone that doesn't know, was it Q3?
Yep.
Yeah.
There was all dicking about as they usually do. George Russell. I've read some certain things about this, but I'm going to let you guys talk about it before I put my toothpenny in. Russell then came across Max on the corner. Max was in the way. Russell was on the radio saying, he's blocked me, he's blocked me, he's blocked me, he's blocked me. And that's what Max got the 1 place penalty for. Disgust.
But yeah, I can completely understand. But
what, you understand Russell's anger, Max's penalty? What do you understand?
Anger.
Okay.
It needed to be a penalty. But why is it only 1 place? Why are we just changing things on the fucking fly? Why are we not sticking to like rules? Why are we not sticking to, if you do this, this happens? And it annoys me. It annoys me because then we have situations like we do now where it's usually been 3, and then we're discussing all the drama from that and the decision, and it's completely coming away from the racing and quali, and it's just it frustrates me. This is what makes me want to turn off.
Oh no, I think it makes me want to keep it on.
That's my opinion.
It's a lot more controversy again. It's that. Is it the new race director and stuff like that? I mean, let's that guy had a shocker this weekend anyway, which we'll talk about in part 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so fucking stupid. A lot of stupid things was done.
Yep.
Changing the rules, not only during a season, but also midway through a race week. I get rules have been changed in the past. You know, Max overtakes someone in the pit, so then they turn around and go, right, you don't do that from now on.
Mm.
But to change the rules halfway through the race week, to be like, yeah, there's it's now it's a 1 place grid penalty. Don't get it. Yes, honestly, I think Max impeded him. I think Max knew exactly what he was doing. Russell was quite fast most of the weekend, stuff like that. Red Bull was very aware of it, as was Ferrari, McLaren, the boys. And yeah, I just don't understand why Max just suddenly took that line.
I'm going to stick up for Max Verstappen.
God, you're a wanker.
My God.
I think George knew exactly what he was doing. George Russell was not on a push lap. He wasn't on a push lap. There was all jockeying for position and dicking about like they always do. I mean, there's not enough space for 20 cars on the racetrack. They can't get enough space. They're all in the same space because they want to be the last one. I want to be the last one. I want to be the last one. George Russell saw Max and knew exactly what he was doing. He sped up when he needed to. Max was kind of, don't get me wrong, Max was in the wrong also because he was on a stupid line in the middle of the corner. It's fucking ridiculous. But in his defence, George wasn't on a push lap behind, so he just thought, well, George will just keep station because that's what you do. I'm faster than him, so would he really want to get in front of me when I'm catching him? That'll harm him. George Russell played a very clever game, and I'm not saying he's wrong for doing it. It's almost like a dive in football. I think he's bought a penalty.
I could agree with that. I would normally disagree, but if it weren't for how hard Russell took it in the meetings and in the investigation afterwards,
That's
so much so that Max actually comes out and goes, "I've never seen someone go so far." for something. He went, and I've lost all respect for it. So,
I think we're going to carry this on in part 2 because that very reason in the steward's room afterwards, the comments were made, like James has just said. That's never ever been seen in F1 before, has it? I think this is a first of Max saying what he did, that a driver's tried to intentionally screw him, and he's never ever seen, like you say, a driver go so hard. We all say about George. I think he's absolutely proved his true colours.
Yeah.
And it's Netflix Drive to Survive next year is going to be fucking ace because apparently the cameras were there.
Oh, nice.
So, but right, we've got a minute left. So what we'll do is we'll park it here. We'll talk about it more, and then we'll talk about the race and if James has decided what points or no points Tony is getting. So we'll see you in the second part.
Bye.
Hey, you. Yeah, you that's listening right now. Thanks very much for tuning into this episode of Straight to the Apex, the Formula One podcast from CookieCast. If you're enjoying this episode, why not like, share and subscribe? Whilst you're there, feel free to check out some of the other podcasts that CookieCast has to offer. If you like football, we've got a football podcast. NFL more your thing? Then the Laces Out podcast is for you. Maybe even a little bit of the wrestling. Just look for the Getting Over podcast on CookieCast. Maybe you want to listen to Andy's Darkest Timeline. It's there too. So, the F1 boys have probably got themselves a drink. It's time to get back to the action.
And just like that, for you, you're straight back. So as we were discussing through our little break, drivers, steward's room, Max, George absolutely going to town. I thought Max's comments were very interesting. Very interesting. What did you guys think?
I just don't understand. Where's he coming from? Where's he? This is what frustrates me about Max because he's a good driver, but then he starts spoiling himself. One of the things he spoils himself is when he starts doing this. Like, just let it go. You're a world champion multiple times. Just don't let it bother you. Just carry on. Just shrug it off. Why does he have to say what he has to say? Why does he have to really passive aggressive, snidey comments? I don't understand. I don't know why.
Well, at the same time, he's never done that. The thing about Max is either an absolute cunt or is the opposite.
There's no middle ground with him. He's honest, but he's also too honest.
Yeah, he'll either completely deny all and say, "Oh, it's down to them" or something like that. But he's even after spats with Lewis and stuff, he's never come out and said, "I can't believe that I've lost all respect for him." So there's got to be something.
Funny you should say the spats with Lewis. Like he never really, and I'm trying to remember back. Him and Lewis had a spat. Lewis used to say Max drives one way and it's too aggressive and we don't agree with it. And we've brought it up in the drivers' meetings. Max is Max, so I will be more aggressive. I won't back down. Max he's never really said anything derogatory about Lewis. He just kind of keeps his own counsel. He knows he's aggressive. He knows, we've said this before, some of the moves he's done with Lando this year. He knows the rules. He comes off the brake. He forces it off because that's within the rules. To come out what he did, and this is the kind of angle I like about Max, is he's come out and said, I have never ever seen a driver basically try and get me a penalty as much as George Russell.
Yeah.
Now, we are all very clear of how we feel about George on this podcast.
Mm.
And I can fully see him doing it. This is my problem with him. I can fully see him. He's like that kid in class. Miss, he farted. Miss, he knocks that over. Miss. And I can just see him in that steward's room. Oh, well, he did that and did that. And that's what leads me to believe that George knew what he was doing. And it wasn't a case of Max blocking him. It was a case of Max being on the wrong part of the track thinking George ain't coming through. And George thinking, I'm going to get you here.
Mm.
And that's not wrong. It's not wrong at all, because if you've got a dangling leg in football, you're going to hit it and go over. If you're playing rugby and you see a player offside, you run at that player.
Yeah.
He's absolutely played Max. But to be in the steward's room and then Max reacts, and I do get what you're saying, Tony. Max is very volatile. I mean, the aggressive, if he did say, I'm going to crash into you, come on. Like, you're not 10 years old. Like,
I think, maybe it's just, I find it really hard because, I don't know, I'm not that person. I would deal with it a lot different. So it's really hard for me to stand. Like, that's why I think I would deal with it a lot, like, just take the high ground. But he isn't. He seems to fight fire with fire. Or maybe be honest. Yeah, too honest, maybe. I don't know.
I think he is. I think Max is Max is very like me in the sense that I wear my emotions. I can't suppress. If I'm pissed off, I'll look pissed off. If I'm happy, I'll look happy. I can't suppress it. And I think Max is very like that. You know when he's been peeved off. And apparently they had a bit of a spat on the drivers' parade on the Sunday morning. Max went for George and was giving him the whole finger wagging his face, and he was still peeved. And you can kind of see that in the first corner of the race, because George was very, very, very careful and almost backed out of the confrontation with Max.
I noticed that. I wanted to come together, I'll be honest.
And I think that if that hadn't have happened, I think they would have done, because Max was very aggressive off the line. And this is where I like Max. He had a bee in his bonnet, he got in that car, and it was almost like throttles on fucking 100% here. I am getting him. And he did. And that's the mentality that I'd be like, if, I always say about in go-karting for my birthday years and years ago, my nephew crashed into me and took me off, and I was fucking livid, absolutely livid with him. And I went for him the next race because I was like, you're not doing that to me. But that's just, and that's a fault of mine. But yeah, I'm surprised like I say, I really hope Netflix caught it. I really hope they did, because that's going to make some awesome telly next year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I've said it already in this podcast. I want somebody to put it on Max. I really, really, really do. Really want someone to really push his buttons and fucking say, yeah, you might be world champion, but there's so many other racing cars here. But
I'm kind of also, it brings me back to the 2021 championship. Lewis did give as good as he got. And I think he's the first driver that stood up to him. I think Leclerc has our doubts on this podcast. He stands up to him. Norris hasn't. Norris has folded like a dog and let him Max tickle his belly this year.
And I know I keep mentioning them, and it has, but the there was something Dean said on the last on the bonus episode. It was all about other drivers and how they'd face up to Max and stuff like that, and that mentality that you need to be a world championship, a world champion driver, and I know exactly what he means as well, because yeah, you have to have the talent and stuff like that, but you need to have that mindset to do it. And Rosberg proved that. He became world champion, and then straight away went, I can't do it anymore. I can't do what I had to do to become world champion there. And then I started thinking about, because I think you asked when your Max Verstappen's, your Lewis Hamiltons, your Alonsos all finally hang up the helmets. And I'm like, there isn't any other driver on that track that I think has that mentality. So, you know, when Alonso goes in a year or 22 years, whatever it's going to be, and, you know, Hamilton retires after his stint with Ferrari, if Max is still driving, who's going to stand up to the guy?
I don't know. I think it'll get worse, actually, before it gets better, because who wants to piss off the star of the comp? Who wants to piss off Red Bull? Because there could be potentially an opportunity further down the line, and would you really want to piss them off? All these young kids will kind of look up to him, won't they?
Yeah.
I mean, the only real one I can see is Antonelli, because it's just Mercedes, and I think he'll get really put through the ringer and say, like, this is how it is. Try and back up George, maybe follow George's footsteps. Toto might get his teeth into him. The rest, I've got no idea. No. Liam Lawson. If Liam Lawson is allegedly joining up next year, he is going to get eaten up, isn't he? So,
It won't last.
Yeah. No.
We'll see.
So everyone on the grid, so race day, Sunday, everyone on the grid started on mediums. Hulkenberg started on hards. Before the crash, false start by Hamilton. What was your thoughts on the false start? I mean, he got a 5-second penalty later on for that. We've seen this a couple of times with other drivers. I don't think I've ever seen Lewis Hamilton false start.
Well, I agree with your point, but why get a penalty? What's the point? He fucked it up and he went back.
He shouldn't have got one. I can't remember. It was Piastri. It was Piastri 2 or 3 races ago where he moved forward, stopped, and then went again. And they was like, look, you didn't really gain an advantage, even though you was out your pit box. You didn't gain an advantage because you stopped and then started going again. Lewis actually lost 2 or 3 places because he went, he stopped, and then he went again, and he was slow getting away, so he lost the places. I mean, he apologised on the radio. Penalty was a joke, I honestly think, and I think that goes down to James's point, which will probably go across this full talking of the race. The race director was out of his depth.
It was just a joke, man. It's like something happens, and it's almost like they must spin like a wheel of fortune with about 4 options on it. They must go, oh, false start, wait there, let's see what happens. 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Like, one plays grid penalty there. Got away with it then. Like, fuck's sake. Like,
there's no consistency. And this is down to, again, the FIA, the chairman, everything. It's a fucking joke. It's ruining it because they've sacked some guy that was doing okay. They've brought this other guy in. Don't get me wrong, he's new to the job, but it was made to look like an amateur sport at the weekend because, like you said, there was stuff. It was literally like Wheel of Fortune. Like you said, there's a rule book somewhere. Apparently, there's this massive rule book that Ted always talks about. Have any of them actually read it?
You'd think as well, it's your second time on the job. You would be doing you would be playing it, no pun after what you just said, but by the book.
Mm.
You would genuinely be, you wouldn't be like, oh, let's do one place grid penalty, let's do 5-second penalty to Lewis, let's do a 10-second stop start, and all this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you're getting off on the right foot, because
I'd like to think he knows the rules before he took that position, and he knows penalties. He knows what penalty for what, and it just seemed like total absolute chaos. But like I said, we'll probably come on to other stuff. So the first crash of the race, Tony must have absolutely sank because it involved the Williams. Hülkenberg, Ocon, Colapinto. I think Ocon and Colapinto kind of was out. Hülkenberg kind of carried on, but that brought out the first safety car.
Should it have been a safety car, or should it have been a red flag?
I think a safety car was pretty. There was not a lot of debris on track at that time.
There was well off the track.
There was well off. I think safety car. That for me was the right decision, and it was pretty quick. The second point was Stroll retired the car when he was hit with a 10-second penalty for hitting Albon. I mean, we could call that a crash, so Tony could lose another point.
He couldn't be asked, basically, I think, and allegedly. No, that's my opinion. I don't think he could be asked. So they told him. Did they tell him to save the penalty, do a lap, and then retire the car?
Yeah, because otherwise the penalty carries on to the next race.
He's close, if not. Well, no, he's not close. He's below Sergio Perez, where he's just being. He's a passenger in this whole fucking F1 race. Like,
I was so glad when, without any prompting, Dean mentioned how shit Lance Stroll is. And I was like, fucking amen. If you've never ever listened to us, you are absolutely on the same wavelength as us three, because it ain't just us that thinks it. He is absolutely stealing a living, that kid.
Yeah.
It's just a waste. It's just a massive waste of a seat. Like, massive waste of a...
Yeah. So he got 10-second penalty for hitting Albon. So that's crash number 2 for the Williams this weekend. Just saying. Go on, James.
Like I said, I just remember Albon's actually come out since and said, yeah, I was responsible for that.
Has he?
Yeah.
So
at the time, everyone was like, yes, both Williams have crashed, but it's neither of the drivers' faults. It's not them. But now Albon's turn. I'm sure it was that one, but Albon's turn around and said, yeah, that was my fault.
Yeah. Wow.
They said Stroll got oversteered, didn't they? But
yeah.
Couldn't have gone into anything. It was Albon that fucking didn't give him enough room.
If there's a crash and one of the drivers is Stroll,
it's automatically
always go for Stroll. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you are.
No one's going to question it.
No. I mean, they give him a 10-second penalty, and even Aston Martin went, yeah, all right, save it, Lance, drive a lap, retire. Okay. So then Lewis got hit with a 5-second pen. Lawson got hit with a 10-second pen for causing a collision with Bottas. Not a lot was really happening in the race, if I'm brutally honest.
No.
Barring them little bits. And then we had a wing mirror in the middle of the track. Seemed to be there forever. Double wave yellows on the main straight. Are they bringing a safety car out? VSC? No, they can't bring a VSC out. They need to get that mirror off the straight. Okay, right. We're getting a safety car? No. Well, they can't have a double wave yellow for 20-odd laps. Bottas has run over it. Oh, shit. There's debris all over the track. Oh, we'll just hang on a minute. And then there was two punchers, one Sainz, one Hamilton, both front lefts.
This is how bad it was. I'm sat in my chair watching it. I'd got back from the driving range. I'd got tea prepped, and I saw the mirror, and then I started talking about it. So I went, right, there's going to be a safety car. I'm just going to go in there. I'll start getting a few things sorted out. So I went in, turned on the oven, got it warmed up, did this, put the meat in, a few other things. I may have even prepped some more veg. Came back in. How's it going? Oh, safety car already gone in. No, safety car hasn't even been out yet. Sorry, what? Yeah, Bottas has driven. I was like, okay. And then I see Hamilton's puncture. I'm like, for fuck's sake, has it really got to this point? And then I find out that Sainz had a puncture. I'm like, the f is going on here?
And Ted's going ballistic on the mic.
well, at first, I was like, oh, I don't think it was a debris. I think it was the cabs. Well, they've been eating them cabs for 40 odd laps and fuck all's happened. A mirror's in the middle of the track. I mean, what Bottas was doing running over it, I don't fucking know, because everyone else missed it. He was just thinking, I'm going to cause some shit here. Oh, mirror! Woo! I mean, fair play to Bottas. But then, very clever by Max. Very clever. Straight on the radio before the safety car. Did Norris lift then? Because it seemed like he caught up to me. Yeah, we saw that, Max. Yeah. Norris, 10-second stop and go penalty. The harshest penalty you can give in Formula One. Norris said he lifted. The data apparently says he didn't. Max said he didn't. How the fuck did Max know that he didn't lift? How the fuck did he know?
There was that much of a gap between them, and then it closed up very quickly.
Yeah, he's good enough, and he knows the tricks as he does.
He does.
There's also that it's probably something that Max is very, very self-aware of.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, stupid by Norris. Absolutely stupid.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, he did come out afterwards in the interview, and he said, "Well, look, this is what they're saying. It's a fair penalty. It is. It does warrant a penalty. Was the choice of penalty fair? No. And even Toto Wolff said that. He came out and he said the choices of penalty this week have been shocking. And he went, and I'm not on about mine. He went, I'm on about McLaren's.
Yeah.
Just
so there's all this debris on the track. There was gravel on the track from where cars had gone off. Mm-hmm. This is when I would say, Tony, the red flag should have come out, because I think the track was that there was litter everywhere.
Let's get a red flag.
Why didn't the red flag come out to clear the track? The gravel was on there. There was bits of the mirror. There was other bits of gravel. Red flag it, sweep it all up, start again. That's what would have happened before, but this didn't happen
as well, because then it's not just it's the mirrors, it's the gravel, it's anything that's coming off the wheel, the floor of the car, because it's not balanced anymore, so it's just scraping against asphalt. It's just the whole thing's a joke.
So they forced them all through the pits. Norris was then on the radio saying that Hamilton brake tested him. It was then found out that Hamilton had forgot to press his pit lane button. So he was given a penalty for speeding in the pits. He got a drive-through penalty. I want to speak about Hamilton at the end. Perez and Hülkenberg spun, brought out another safety car. Zhou got a 10-second penalty. And then Russell got a penalty for safety car infringement, but it didn't cost him a place. Have I covered everything?
I think so.
There was a lot of penalties, and like you say, there was a lot of penalties that were... I mean, the drive-through penalty for Lewis. it's almost like getting a speeding ticket when you're in a queue of traffic on the M1. How the fuck did he get a speeding? How was he going so fast? There was a car in front of him.
Yeah.
If he was going, I mean, when he locked up and Norris said he brake tested him, he must have just thought, "Oh shit, bang!" So it must have been a millisecond. He didn't have his pit limiter on.
Yeah.
And they've given him a 10-second a drive-through penalty. Stop.
Yeah, well, he tried. He gave up, didn't he? Basically.
Yeah.
As soon as I said you got to drive, he just went, retire the car. And at first, when he said it, I thought, "Fuck it, has he actually found something wrong?" And then he went, and they went, "What?" And he went, "Retire the car." He went, "I'm done. Retire."
I'm switching off when I get in there, mate. I'm switching off.
Mm.
And then they said, "You can't. You do that, we get more penalties."
We'll get the 5-second penalty next race, so we only need you to do one more lap, but drive through.
And then they said, retire the car, and he carried on.
Yeah. So he must have got over himself.
Didn't you think his attitude was shit this weekend?
Yeah, because I think, just try and answer your question. Because I really do think he's saving face. I think there's a lot of fucking shit going on behind the scenes. And I don't think he thinks he's getting the respect he deserves. And it's just, this is what happens when you go through a breakup, and he's just saving face. And it's now, because it's to the end of the season, it's really starting to show, but he's trying to keep it together as best he can, because Mercedes and McLaren have created history.
I completely agree. I mean, I did like it when he turned up in a white jumpsuit, and I was like, "Oh, they're bringing that back." And I thought that's a nice little touch. But you're right. I mean, he went to Mercedes, and everyone was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he went on to win multiple championships and constructors, and he's done so much for them. And then the back end of this season, you just kind of, and it's, what are they doing? Oh, George Russell's got a fancy looking helmet. Yeah, that's exactly how you show your gratitude to a driver that has it.
But they're in a difficult position, aren't they? Don't you think they're in a difficult position? They've got to kind of bow out a legend and an absolute fundamental driver to their existence, but also protect their integrity in the future. And
they do, but
it's always going to be hard, isn't it? I suppose.
You're right, and they've got to look after George, absolutely. But still, just little things like, "Yeah, we're not going to let you go and do this test drive, and you're not going to do this, and we're not going to do
2 minutes.
that. You can't have Bono go with you," and it's just.
I just think
it's not enough. I mean, I would like to think when Vettel retired, it was pretty much, I think, Hamilton, Vettel.
Just to interject, sorry, he's gone because he shit himself, and we're going to say this on record now, and he'll never know about it. He'll have to watch it back, but he's left because he has shit himself. Carry on.
That's a good call.
So Vettel was, I understand what you mean with Vettel.
He went, and there was driving alongside him, and there was all foremen, and they all got together and did donuts and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I'd like to see that kind of stuff. Granted, Hamilton's not retiring, but fucking hell, I mean, if you didn't fucking get him, would you still be around now?
No. I think it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. I just think that something's gone on, like in quali, when he said, "I'm just not fast anymore. I'm just not fast." I wonder if someone said to him, I don't know if it's that Toto comment of, "We'd have probably had to sack him or get rid of him next year," and that maybe pissed Lewis off that, well, apparently they think I'm not fast anymore.
Yeah. He he's done with Mercedes.
I wonder what the farewell next race. I wonder what will be done. I wonder if there'll be anything undertaken, anything special, or will it just be another race and it'll be kind of like cheers?
I think it will. I think it'll be so underrated. Yeah, I think it'll be so underrated. There'll be nothing special, nothing like you guys have just said, Vettel. There'll be nothing. It'll just be a cheers, Lewis. Bye bye.
Yeah, it'll be something like change the car. Well, not I don't mean like units and stuff like that. Go purple.
Yeah, George could have had a Lewis Hamilton helmet on.
Yeah, yeah. Will there be? Yeah, that's true. Will there be a nod to his career at Mercedes in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah,
I don't think there will. I really don't. I think there might be a few handshakes and a few pictures taken at the end. That's it.
Yeah. So top 10: Max, Leclerc, Piastri, Russell, Gasly, Sainz, Alonso, Zhou, Magnussen, Norris. Obviously, Lewis got his penalty. Norris managed to get back in the top 10. Yeah. Anything else from Qatar before we do our predictions?
Let me just quickly check the phone. I think that's it. I really do think that's it. I don't think there's anything else. There was Holcomb. Was it Holcomb? No, it was K-Mag passing Albon, and when he passed him, he said "fuck off," and because he'd finally got past him, and I was like, finally, somebody actually saying something after the fact, which I think we rarely get on F1. Like somebody really racing or celebrating, like a mini celebration in their head. And I like that bit of emotion. That's the only other thing that I can think of.
I liked it. So, Mr. Stainforth, would you like to take over various penalties, predictions? Go.
I don't know what I don't know what to do with Tony.
Go.
Just generally all this section.
I thought that.
I mean, he forgot all about me on the NFL.
I had my hands full.
If I did still deduct a point from him for that, then I should be deducting one from you as well.
You should.
Because,
on our own podcast, I didn't mention your name.
You a dick.
But I did say them guys, and by that I meant you both.
Oh.
There's no other guys on this podcast. Hey, I didn't say your name.
You guys.
Yeah, I didn't say your name. So you do what you want.
Yeah, and I bet Greg Wallace
that guy right there.
He's still in the shit.
Well, that's true. You do what you need to do, James.
I'm gonna be. You know what? It's Christmas.
Oh wow!
I will let it slip.
Yay! Woo!
What a guy!
What a guy! Thank
Really
you.
though, because it makes no fucking difference.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. Mark, you went Sainz, Piastri, Max. You had 34 points. You still got 34 points.
Excellent.
Tony, you went Leclerc, Hamilton, Sainz. You had 30 points. You still got 30 points.
Yes.
I went Max, Hamilton, Leclerc. I had 8 points. I've now got 41. Charlie went Hamilton, Russell, Leclerc. She still got 14 points. Beth went Sainz, Leclerc, Hamilton. She gets 2 points for Leclerc, taking her from 33 points to 35 points. So the current standings are: I'm in the lead, followed in second place by Beth.
Wow.
Who isn't a host on this podcast.
No, this is
followed
embarrassing.
By Mark,
this
followed
is
by
embarrassing.
Tony.
This is embarrassing. He's got
the
two
FIA is beating 2/3 of the Straight to the Apex crew.
Yeah. Oh,
Your picks need to be good this weekend, lads.
I have gone good, but I am gonna. Do you know what? I'm gonna change my second driver now.
Okay.
So right, okay, I'm locked in now.
Host goes first.
Max to win.
Safe shout.
I had Sainz as second. I've now changed it to Leclerc.
Ooh.
And I've gone Norris third.
Wow.
I'm gonna go James next.
So I've gone Max for the win. I've gone Piastri second. And Sainz third.
Wow.
For the Bants.
Further back.
Sees.
Mr. Rawson.
I did have a pick in my mind, but it's very similar to what you guys have done. So I want to be different. I have nothing to lose.
You haven't. You can't get beat by Charlie. You've got to go big.
You got beat by a girl, though.
Yeah.
Girls have got cooties.
Oh no, does that mean I've got cooties? Damn.
Good colours.
I didn't think he said cooties, and I was thinking, oh, good God, he said the other word.
What? I don't know what the other word was, but
sounds like I'll explain off the podcast. I dare say.
Podcast off the podcast.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna go with a Lando Norris win.
Norris win.
I'm then gonna go with a Max Verstappen second. I'm then going to go with it's either Ferrari or Carlos Sainz. Fuck it. Fuck.
The Bants.
I thought he was going to go really different then.
Is any? Well, it was Russell's going to go back into his fucking little pen because he's come out backed and now he's shit himself.
That's true. He probably went with 10 up in Abu Dhabi. Is that shit scary?
Leclerc's got a mistake in him. Piastri's the only other thing. Has anybody else gone? So who else has gone Sainz for third? Somebody else gone Sainz third?
That would be me.
James.
Has anybody gone Piastri third?
No.
I'll go Piastri third. Fuck it.
Right. Okay, changing stance for Piastri.
Pussy.
So, have we got Charlie's?
Yeah. So Charlie has gone Russell for the win.
Go on.
Norris second and Leclerc third.
Thank God I go for him third.
And have we got Beth?
No, we're done.
What?
Very controversial.
She's got like second place to defend.
Well, there is some rules in place about missing.
There are.
I've messaged her. I'll message her one more time.
Well, I think she's shit out. I mean,
one more as well.
We started the predictions with 9 minutes to go. We've got 2.5 minutes to go.
So she has 2.5 minutes. Oh, she's read the message. Here we go, guys. I wonder. She's not here. She's away with work. So we're gonna find out live on the podcast.
Potentially.
Allegedly.
Oh, there's 3 dots.
Fuck off, Tony. Does it say?
No, it doesn't say that. It says get out. Oh,
stop texting me.
We have the picks. We have
the picks.
Okay. Shall I go in reverse order because it's better that way?
Yeah, okay.
Adds an attention. Max third.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos Sainz second.
And first?
Nobody else has done this. And for probably good reason. Lewis Hamilton first. Good luck with that, because he hasn't got any upgrades. He's down, and he is slightly depressed. So
James, off air, can you just verify these picks with Beth and in fact say that this is reverse order Tony's give us them in, not the actual order she wanted them? Because
I get it on? No, it's not going to do it.
Can't see the screen, it's all blurred. James will verify offline.
All right, then.
Right, we've timed it well. So another episode in the bag. One more race to go. That's another season done.
Thank you, Esteban, for all your shit this season.
Thanks to Esteban. Thanks to Lance Stroll. Thanks to Checo Perez.
Can't wait to see him again.
Thanks to James. I said his name. Thanks to Tony. Thanks to everybody listening. Thanks to Andy. We'll see you next week.
See you next week, boys.
Bye-bye.
For the last one.
So there you go. What do you think of that? Another one done. Another one gone. Where does the time go? Big thank you to the boys for bringing us the Formula One in a whole podcast, in a nutshell. Big thank you to you for watching or listening. Before you go, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Leave reviews where you can leave reviews. And check out the website, thecookiecast.com. There we have social media links and an email button, and that way you can get in touch with us. That's it for this one. Till next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
You've just listened to another episode of Cookie Cast. Thanks for listening.